Chung then rose up and went to her family shrine and bade farewell to the spirits of her ancestors in these words. "Oh, spirits of my ancestors! Thy unworthy granddaughter, Chung, has sold her body in order to help open the blind eyes of her poor father, and pretty soon she will leap into the dark blue sea. Hereafter the incense burning before thee will be discontinued, and my heart is rending in your memory." Then she made a double bow and returned to her father and clasped both of his hands with a loud cry and fainted. Bong Sa's surprise was beyond description. "Oh, my baby! What on earth is this? Wake up and tell me what it all means." Chung was awakened and murmured between her lips, "Forgive me, father. I've cheated you. Who would give me 300 bags of rice for nothing? To speak the truth, I've sold my body to the Nanking sailors as a sacrifice to the sea, and today I'm going. Touch me for the last time in your life." Bong Sa was thunderstruck. "What? Is that true? No, you can't go. Why didn't you talk of this matter to me? If you're dying, what's the meaning of my living? Even with my eyes open? I lost your mother beside your cradle and, now, must I lose you too?" For a long time father and daughter hugged each other and wept bitterly, and the old man fell into a swoon. In the meantime the ship had just finished loading rich merchandise and a boatswain beat the drum and shouted, "All aboard! Tide is high, sail is full. Wind is favorable and anchor is weighing." Chung wiped her tears behind her sleeves and bade a last farewell to her father, who was waking but too exhausted to stop his daughter from going. Then she followed the sailors and went on board the ship, which soon put out to sea. For some time the ship sailed very smoothly on the calm ocean, but when she came through the high waves in the maelstrom of Indang snow, suddenly a storm arose. Soon the heaven and sea became dark. The angry white horses roared. The ship pitched and rolled as if she would be swallowed by the yawning mouth of the sea. "Help! Help!" the sailors screamed. "The monstrous dragon is coming. We must appease his anger by giving away this fair girl, or we shall all become sea ghosts." Then all eyes were turned on Chung, who covered her face with her pink skirt and leaped headlong into the angry waves as she cried, "Father, I'm going. Mother, I'm coming." But strange to say, hardly had her feet touched the surface of the ocean before a sea goddess picked Chung up in her arms and a large crowd of fish came to wait upon her and, like an honor guard, they conducted Chung deep into the bottom of the sea, even unto the palace of the sea ruler, the Dragon King, who admired her extraordinary beauty and adopted her to be his own daughter. The Dragon King's palace was magnificently built in massive pearls ornamented with corals, rubies and emeralds. There were music and dance in the banquet hall all the time to please the new princess. But Chung was only thinking of her poor father on earth and refused to eat or smile. The Dragon King took great pity on Chung and freed her, putting her in a lotus flower to float on the surface of the sea. Just then, the prince of the kingdom, who was sailing along on a yacht, saw an incomparable beauty peeping out of a lotus dancing on the waves. This passionate young prince fell in love with her and immediately made her his bride. For many days and many nights the wedding feast continued in the palace. Then the new princess held another magnificent feast and invited all blind men in the country. Every day large crowds of blind men walked into the palace and marched before Princess Chung. And on the last day of the blind men's feast Bong Sa appeared before her eyes. Out of wild joy she ran and fell on his neck and cried, "Father! Father! Is it you?" And, equally joyous at hearing the voice of his daughter, the blind man cried, "Daughter! Daughter! Is it you?" Then at that very moment of great excitement his eyes opened to see for the first time his darling, Chung.